Welcome to the morning sunrise. Thanks for being with me today, guys. We've been getting a ton of outdoor work done, which is what will be in my next video. This one I kind of already had in the works, so here we are. Propagating succulents is what we're going to go through today. It is my first time ever propagating succulents, but I was gifted a garden a few years ago, and so I'll take you through its journey. Going from this plant that was hanging off the ledge to all of these propagations. I'm a proud little plant mama. Let's dive right in. This is when I was gifted this succulent garden from a person I worked with named Rebecca. Can't thank her enough. A few months later, a girl named Stacy gave me the smaller one up front, and so the journey began. Then relocating to working from home for the next few years. These things got upgraded to my foyer with all of the afternoon sunlight. The little guy got up potted and joined everybody else in the succulent garden. There were a few who kind of fizzled out as the years went on, but overall I just kept seeing growth and things that were thriving. At this point, I was honestly a little afraid to touch it. Didn't want to mess up what it had going on. This little guy got so tall that he kind of fell over. I had babies growing that had fallen off the mother of thousands, which is all these little tiny seeds you see hanging off the edge of those succulents. But after a while, I noticed that there were some things that probably needed tending to, so I started educating myself. You can probably see the little bit of a dried up root hanging off the side there. So I got as much documentation as I could, and it was time to deconstruct. At least I had to save that one that was sitting on the ledge. I couldn't let all that growth go to waste. Good news was, I found out that I could propagate a lot of this. So here goes nothing. That was the moment. The taller one standing needed to be saved as well. I was a bit afraid to touch it. I didn't want to break anything any worse than I already was. Once I looked at the bottom side here, all that yellowing and browning, crispy leaves, they needed to go. So all of these little pieces that I'm taking off the main stem, I'm trying my best to keep them intact and not have any of the base be torn up, because what I want is for them to dry out over the next few weeks. This was the aftermath once we were done removing the big boy from the edge, and then just kind of trailing along this mother of thousands to the very end here as it intertwined with the grape ivy next door. So in researching this plant in particular, I learned that all of those leaves that are pointing downward, that were kind of holding it up off the banister, are those that I do not need to keep, because those were leaning down because they weren't getting enough sunlight. The ones that were reaching up are ones that are kind of the more positive growth of the plant. So the piece at the top is what I'm maintaining. The rest I'm just trying to easily remove so that I can use them for propagation. Now in hindsight, I think I would have just gone ahead and cut off that top portion that was going to be saved, and that way it would be a lot easier to remove all the rest of this without having to treat it so delicately. And for those of you thinking that backyard doesn't look like Florida, it is not. That was back when we still lived in Indiana. So. As time went on, I wound up taking quite a bit more of the leaves off of here, again with those pointing down not being ones that I really needed to keep, but this was my first time doing this and I was just frankly afraid of taking too much, right? You can always come back for more, but you can't put it back once you've taken it off. So this was me being conservative, and here's where we wound up. Of what I did there that day, 21 leaves that are laid out here for propagation. I did stick the stem in the side there. I don't know if you saw, hey, I saw online that there's potential they could regrow. I didn't have any luck, but I gave it my best. Here's what we were left with. And kind of an after picture. I know I'm coming back for that taller one later, but not happening today. I just love all those little babies that grow on their own. I've tried to pluck some of those and plant them before and no luck. But here we are, April, 2.5 months later, and there's finally some that are showing a little bit of growth. After so many weeks of daily misting and just holding faith, it was very rewarding to finally see that growth. Just in time for the move. So they got settled in their new place. Gave them some more time here. That was in my original plant room tour video. When you realize maybe you propagated too much. Lots of rooted cuttings available at plantladysarah.com. Here is the smaller of the two when I finally went back for it, and then the biggest one that we saved that day. I'm just so happy with the growth that they've shown. Here's all the little baby succulents that are still nursing off their mother leaf. But again, a lot of good growth as you can see off some of them. So they will be available one of these days once they stop nursing. Here's a current day shot where you can see that mother of thousands. The tall spiky one has plenty of newbies. Those have taken quite a while to pop up there, but they're all shooting off babies of their own at this point. That big long one that's just trailing around, it really does need to be taken care of. That's not how it should be, so I need to do a little more research and see if there's a way to salvage any of the stem that has just been growing roots out for so long. There's a good shot of the little seeds hanging off the edge with their little baby roots. All right, here's another little start that is just loving its new home. When you see the reddishness around the edge of the leaves, I know they're happy. Thanks to those of you that have stuck around till the end. We do have a little bit of a sneak peek of what's up with the food forest. Lucas is working that ground as best he can with all the limestone rocks, but would you look at that moon? It was just a beautiful night. Here's an update on the garden beds. When there were 3, we've now got 4 completed, as well as a shot of the very first plantings. I will walk you guys through all these details in the next video. Thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time.